Yo, 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 Too Shifty crew. What is good with y'all today? It's your boy Bwithdashifts. Today, we got 6 apex predators that hunt humans. Shout out Loving Feral. Go follow my Twitch, twitch.tv/Bwithdashifts 1 live every day, 8 p.m. CT. Y'all know what to do. Make sure y'all like and subscribe. Let's get straight to it.
Stalk, pursue, and hunt
Let's see
humans as a
this.
food source. Some of
They
them do
hunt
it out of
humans?
desperation when their natural prey has disappeared. Others do it because we happen to share their habitat, and they simply view us as another meal. In today's video, we'll be looking at 6 apex predators
6
that are known
apex
to hunt
predators.
humans. And to find our first predator, we'll be heading to the forests of Africa and the Indian subcontinent.
Lions? Yeah, I'm gonna
The
guess
leopard is the
lions.
most
Leopard.
adaptable of all the big cats, and it's found across a wider range of habitats than any other large feline. From the rainforests of Central Africa to the Himalayan foothills of Nepal, leopards have learned to thrive in almost every environment they encounter. They are solitary, nocturnal, and incredibly stealthy, and these traits have also made them the most dangerous big cat to humans in certain parts of the world. While lions and tigers tend to make headlines when they attack people, leopards have quietly accumulated one of the highest body counts of any land predator.
What? What? They have what?
Certain parts of the world. While
What have they
lions and
done?
tigers tend to make headlines when they attack people, leopards have quietly accumulated one of the highest body counts of any land predator.
These animals are hoes.
And they have produced some of the most prolific man-eaters in recorded history. What makes leopards particularly dangerous is their comfort around human settlements. Unlike lions, which generally avoid villages, and tigers, which stick to dense forest, leopards will walk straight into towns and cities under the cover of darkness.
These animals are menaces
in India,
too.
Leopard attacks in urban and semi-urban areas have been increasing in recent years as human development pushes further into their habitat.
I'm pushing that cat off the tree.
There have been cases where leopards have entered houses through open windows and doors and attacked people while they slept.
See, the people that got attacked by these things, they deserve it, because pretty much leaving your window and doors open at night when you know these kitty cats are roaming around, man, you are just asking for death. They're not going to come home and just purr and cuddle with you. They're going to eat you alive. You're just welcoming them in, you idiots. Y'all deserve to die.
In one horrifying incident,
no
a leopard entered a school in the Indian city of Bangalore in 2016,
a school?
causing panic as it was chased through corridors and classrooms before being tranquilized.
Wow.
Their ability to operate in close proximity to humans without being detected is what makes them so effective and so terrifying as man-eaters. The most infamous man-eating leopard in history was the leopard of Panar, which is believed to have killed over 400 people in the Panar region of northern India in the early 1900s. This would make it the second deadliest individual man-eater ever recorded, behind only a single tiger that we'll get to later. The legendary hunter Jim Corbett, who dedicated much of his life to tracking and killing man-eating big cats in India, described man-eating leopards as being far more difficult and dangerous to hunt than man-eating tigers. This was because leopards are smaller and harder to spot. They hunt almost exclusively at night, and they are masterful at using cover to get close to their targets. Corbett himself killed several man-eating leopards during his career, and he noted that in almost every case, the animal had become a man-eater after suffering an injury that made it unable to hunt its normal prey. A leopard with a broken jaw, a porcupine quill lodged in its paw, or a gunshot wound would turn to the easiest available food source, and in the densely populated villages of rural India, that food source was humans. Even today, leopard attacks continue across India, with dozens of people being killed each year. The leopard takes the 6th place spot. And for our next section, we'll be heading to the frozen north, as we'll be focusing on the only bear species that actively views humans as prey.
Yeah, polar bears.
The polar bear is the largest land predator on the planet, with the biggest males capable of reaching weights of over 700 kilograms and standing nearly 3 meters tall on their hind legs. They are perfectly adapted to life in the Arctic, with thick blubber, dense fur, and enormous paws that act as snowshoes on the ice. In their frozen world, they sit at the absolute top of the food chain, and their primary prey is the ringed seal, which they hunt by waiting patiently at breathing holes in the sea ice, sometimes for hours, before striking with explosive speed. But when seals are scarce,
Oh,
polar bears will eat almost
okay.
anything they can find, and unfortunately, that includes humans.
Not
What
me.
sets the polar bear apart from every other bear species is that it is the
I'm
only
not
one
fat
that will
enough to be a
actively
polar
stalk
bear
and hunt humans
meal.
as a food source. Grizzly bears and black bears will attack people,
Mm-mm-mm.
but these attacks are almost always defensive, triggered by surprise encounters, protection of cubs, or defense of a food source. Polar bears are different. When a polar bear approaches a human settlement or a campsite, it is often doing so because it is hungry and it views the people inside as potential prey. This predatory behavior has
I
been
ain't prey.
documented
That's all I
repeatedly
know.
across the Arctic, and it
All
makes
I know
encounters with
is
polar
that I
bears
will never be a
fundamentally more
bear's prey.
dangerous than encounters with any other
Bears don't
bear
want to see
species.
me.
If a grizzly bear
I'll beat
charges
a
you,
bear's ass.
playing dead can sometimes convince it that you are no longer a threat and cause it to leave.
So if a bear is just stupid enough that I could play dead, why can I not just beat up a bear or just shoot a bear? Is it that hard to shoot a bear? Do people not got the courage to do that? Like, bro, sit up on high ground. Bears can't climb. If you know, you know. Bears are not good climbers, especially polar bears. They live in the water. That's where they kill most of their prey. I'm not prey to a bear. I'm gonna beat a bear up if it even tries me. Adrenaline? Hey, a bear does not want to see me with adrenaline. I'm not gonna lie. Adrenaline is way more powerful than anything a bear can do. If you know, you know. Science rules there.
If a polar bear is stalking you, playing dead will simply make its job easier.
Oh, shoot.
Thankfully,
Never mind.
fatal polar bear attacks are rare, and this is
Is that
mostly
a
because
fight
very
or
few
a
people live in the
makeout?
remote Arctic regions where
What
these
are they
bears are
doing? Are they
found.
fighting?
But when attacks
They're
do occur,
definitely, yeah, they're
they are
fighting.
often fatal,
Why?
and the predatory
Okay.
nature of the attacks makes them particularly horrifying. In 2011, a polar bear attacked a group of young people on a camping expedition in Svalbard, Norway, killing one person and injuring 4 others before being shot. The bear had been stalking the
Damn.
campsite for some time before the attack, and its behavior was consistent with a
Mm.
predatory approach rather than a defensive one. In the Canadian territory of Nunavut, where indigenous communities have lived alongside polar bears for thousands of years, there is a deep cultural understanding of the danger these animals pose. Locals know never to leave food outside, never to approach a polar bear, and never to assume that a bear walking toward you is just curious. Climate change is making the situation worse. As Arctic sea ice continues to decline, polar bears are spending more time on land, where they have less access to their preferred seal prey. Hungry bears are increasingly wandering into human settlements in search of food, and the number of human-bear encounters has been rising in recent decades. In the Russian town of Belushya Guba on the Novaya Zemlya archipelago, dozens of polar bears invaded the town in 2019,
What type of
rummaging
sentence
through
is that? He
garbage,
just started
entering apartment
saying
buildings,
stuff.
and
It's not a
terrifying
real city.
residents. None of the encounters turned fatal, but the incident illustrated a growing trend that is likely to continue
Wow.
as the climate warms. The polar bear takes the 5th place spot,
Fifth
and
place.
for
I
our next
wonder which
section,
one.
we'll be heading to the
Yeah,
tropics of
okay.
Southeast Asia and Northern Australia.
Southeast Asia.
The
Asia
saltwater
tiger.
crocodile is the largest
Crocodile?
living reptile on the
A
planet,
crocodile is not
capable
more
of exceeding
dangerous than a
6
bear.
meters in
I'm
length
sorry,
and weighing
man.
over a metric ton. And it is one of the
I'm
few
sorry,
animals in the
bro.
world that will
Wow.
actively and deliberately hunt humans whenever the opportunity
Wow.
presents itself. Unlike some other predators on
Okay.
this list that only turn to hunting humans under specific circumstances, the saltwater crocodile doesn't need a reason. To a large
A reason is gonna be fighting me, and it will fail every time because I'm gonna knock that pizza head animal out with one strong donkey kick. I'm sorry. That thing looks like a pepperoni pizza, dude.
saltwater croc, a human wading in a river or walking along a riverbank is simply another animal of an appropriate
Thing is
size to
not
eat.
intimidating, dude.
There is no desperation involved,
Sorry.
no injury that has forced it to switch prey.
Okay.
Humans are just food. They are found across a vast range from eastern India through Southeast Asia, northern Australia, and into the western Pacific Islands. And across this range, they claim hundreds of lives each year. The exact number is difficult to determine because many attacks occur in remote areas where incidents go unreported. but estimates suggest that saltwater crocodiles kill between 300 and 1,000 people annually. On Bangka Island in Indonesia, tin mining has destroyed much of the crocodile's natural habitat, pushing them into mine lakes where they ambush local workers. Since
Dang.
2016, around 40 people have lost their lives to crocodile attacks on this one island alone. In the Solomon Islands, East Timor, and Papua New Guinea, attacks are a regular occurrence, and in some communities, people live in constant fear of the water. In Australia, fatal attacks are rarer thanks to aggressive public education campaigns, warning signs, and strict regulations about swimming in crocodile habitat.
Okay.
But they still happen. One of the most infamous incidents occurred in 1985, when a model named Ginger Meadows was killed by a saltwater crocodile while wading in shallow water at a beach in northern Queensland. Despite warnings from locals, she entered the water and was taken almost immediately.
Yep. I waited for the cause to say something because your name is Ginger. You already deserve to die, first of all. But now, you got warned by multiple people that lived there, and they knew what's going to happen. You knew that there was pepperoni-faced crocodiles in that pond. You decided to go swim in it. People have no survival skills, man. What were you going to do? Go model a picture sitting there in the crocodile's mouth, half deceased? Good vocabulary word, though.
The attack highlighted just how fast and efficient these predators are, and it reinforced the message that in northern Australia, no body of water is ever truly safe. What makes saltwater crocodiles so effective as human hunters is their ambush strategy.
To be fair,
they lie motionless at the water's edge, invisible beneath the surface with only their eyes and nostrils exposed, and they wait for prey to come within striking distance. They can remain in this position for hours without moving, and their dark, rough skin makes them virtually indistinguishable from a submerged log or a patch of mud. The attack, when it comes, is explosive and almost impossible to survive.
Dang.
They lunge forward with a burst of speed that seems impossible for an animal of their size.
Alright, stop glazing
Grab
the
their victim in
crocodile,
jaws
dude.
that can exert several tons of bite force and drag them into the water in a fraction of a second. Once you're in the water with a large saltwater crocodile, the outcome is almost always fatal as their death roll and sheer strength make escape virtually impossible. They are also incredibly patient predators. There have been documented cases of saltwater crocodiles learning the routines of people who regularly visit the same spot on a riverbank, and then positioning themselves at that exact spot and waiting. This level of predatory intelligence makes them one of the most dangerous animals a human can encounter. And it's the reason why the rules in northern Australia are so clear. If you see a body of water and there are no signs saying it's safe, assume there is a crocodile in it. The saltwater crocodile takes the 4th place spot. And for our next section, we'll be heading over to the savannas and riverbanks of sub-Saharan Africa.
Lions.
The lion is the only big cat that lives in large social groups, and this social structure has made it one of the most effective predators on the African continent. It has also made it one of the most dangerous animals to humans throughout history, because a pride of lions that has learned to hunt people can devastate an entire region. Lions are generally wary of humans today, and in most parts of Africa, they avoid villages and settlements. But throughout history, and in some places even today, certain individuals and prides have developed a taste for human flesh, and the resulting man-eating episodes have become some of the most famous predator stories ever told.
Why are you looking at me, lion?
The most iconic man-eating lion story is that of the Tsavo man-eaters, 2 manless male lions that terrorized a railway construction project in Kenya in 1898. Over a period of approximately 9 months, these 2 lions killed and consumed an estimated 35 workers.
Man, that's a fucking lie, yo. That is a lie. 1898? Man, you don't know nothing from 1898. Anything before 1945 is fake. And it never happened unless you get the story from somebody that lived there. Because, bro, nobody alive on Earth right now is from 1898. And this has got to be fake, man. Unless there is video footage of it, which there is not. People are telling campfire stories about 2 lions. Simba and Scar and Mufasa are soft. That's 3 lions.
though some
But
accounts put
still,
the number significantly higher.
that is so
The
cap.
attacks brought construction on the
That is
Kenya-Uganda
actually
railway to a
cap.
complete standstill, as
Yo,
terrified workers refused to
those
continue
lions
until
did
the
not
lions were
do
dealt
that.
with. The lions seemed to target the workers' camps with calculated precision,
Calculated,
dragging men
like,
from their
bro,
tents at night and
lions
carrying
are
them
not
off into the
smart.
darkness.
I'm smarter
Despite
than
elaborate
lions.
defensive measures, including thorn fences and bonfires, the lions continued their attacks with an intelligence and persistence that baffled
Stop glazing
everyone
the
involved.
lions. They're not smart, bro.
The project's chief engineer,
Swear.
Colonel John Henry Patterson, eventually shot both lions after months of failed attempts, and their stuffed bodies are still on display at the Field Museum of Natural History in Chicago.
How do you fail multiple
But the
times?
Tsavo lions were far from the only man-eating
Look how big
lions
these
in
things
history.
are.
In Tanzania, lion attacks on humans remain a
what?
serious problem, with an estimated
Okay.
200 to 300 people being killed by lions across the country between 1990 and 2005. One particularly notorious individual, known as the man-eater of Mimfuwe, killed 6
What type
people
of
in
name is
Zambia
that,
in
Mimfuwe?
1991 before being shot by a California safari guide. What made this
I'm
lion
sorry, but
particularly
if I see a
unsettling
lion,
was its
it's gonna
behavior
pew-pew
after
right
one of the
away.
kills.
I'm
It was
sorry.
witnessed walking through the village
sorry,
carrying a
man.
laundry bag full of clothes that belonged to one of its victims, as if it were parading a trophy through the streets. This eerie detail has made the Mfuwe man-eater one of the most talked about individual predators in modern African history, and the lion is now on display at the Field
They got
Museum in
names for these
Chicago
things?
alongside the Tsavo
They
man-eaters.
nickname every lion?
In the
That's
Njombe region
crazy.
of Tanzania, a pride
That
of
is kinda
lions killed
crazy,
an
though.
estimated 1,500 people
I'm gonna
between
guess
1932
tiger
and
and jaguar
1947,
are 1 and
making
2,
it the
by the way.
worst man-eating
I don't know, I
episode
can just
involving
see it.
lions ever recorded. Though some historians have
I know
questioned the
tigers are
accuracy of this
crazy.
figure and suggest the real number may have
Okay.
been inflated by colonial-era reporting.
Stop licking your lips, dude.
Even if the true number was
Freaky-ass
significantly lower, it would still
Swear.
represent one of the most devastating predator attacks in human history.
Piss me off,
What
bro.
often triggers man-eating behavior in lions is similar to what triggers it in
They're
leopards,
hungry.
an injury or condition
They're
that prevents the
hungry.
lion from hunting its normal prey.
They're
Broken
hungry,
teeth,
man.
porcupine quills,
Okay.
and diseases that reduce their strength can all push lions toward easier prey, and in rural Africa, humans are among the easiest targets available. The lion takes the third-place spot.
Third.
And for our next section,
Okay.
we'll be staying in Africa, but we'll be heading to the rivers and lakes.
Jaguar.
The Nile crocodile
Nile
is the second
crocodile.
largest
There's
living
always been
reptile
two.
after the
There's
saltwater
already been two
crocodile.
crocodiles.
And across sub-Saharan Africa, it is the animal that claims
what?
the most human lives.
Okay.
These massive predators can
I
reach
thought
lengths of
hippos were
over
the most
6 meters
dangerous.
and weights of over a metric ton, and they inhabit virtually every major river
Fat-ass
system,
crocodile.
lake, and wetland across the continent.
Okay.
In many parts of rural Africa, people have no choice but to use rivers and lakes for drinking water, bathing, washing clothes, and fishing, and this puts them in direct contact with Nile crocodiles on a daily basis. The result is an estimated 300 to 500 human fatalities per year, though the true number is almost certainly higher, as many attacks in remote areas go unreported and unrecorded. It's impossible to talk about the Nile crocodile without mentioning Gustav, a massive individual that became one of the most notorious man-eating animals in modern history.
Bro, can we stop nicknaming
Gustav
animals,
was first
please?
identified by a French
That's
herpetologist named
actually
Patrice
annoying.
Fay in the
Stop
late
nicknaming
1990s in the
animals, dude.
Ruzizi River and Lake
That thing
Tanganyika
looks
in
precious.
Burundi. He was rumored to have
Big-ass
killed up
mouth.
to 300 people,
Looks
though
like
a
a
more
shoe.
realistic estimate puts the number at around 60. Even at 60
Looks like a
confirmed
shoe,
kills,
yo.
this would make him one of the deadliest individual predators of any species in recorded history. Gustav was estimated to be over 6 meters long and was covered in scars, including bullet marks and a dark patch on his head that may have been a wound from a failed military attempt to kill him. Multiple capture and kill missions were launched against Gustav, but he evaded every single one, disappearing into the depths of Lake Tanganyika each time. Whether Gustav is still alive today is unknown, but his legacy as Africa's most feared crocodile endures.
Legacy? What do you mean legacy? It's a crocodile, dude. It could be many other crocodiles, bro. It's not the same one. We're glazing crocodiles in the big 2026. Oh my goodness. Bro, this man said legacy like he's LeBron or something. Bro, no crocodiles leaving behind a legacy. And it did not escape multiple military attempts. I'm sorry. People be lying out their ass.
What makes Nile
I'm
crocodiles so
sorry, man.
effective at hunting
That's
humans
crazy,
is the
though.
same ambush strategy used by their saltwater cousins.
Ambush.
They
They
lurk
got
beneath the
cousins too?
surface
Wow.
near areas where
That's
people
crazy.
regularly access the water, and they strike with a speed and
Mm.
power that gives their victims virtually no chance of escape. Once a person has been grabbed, the crocodile will drag them underwater and perform a death roll, spinning its entire body to disorient the victim and prevent them from fighting back.
Wow.
Even people who manage to fight off the initial grab, which is extremely rare, are often dragged back under before they can reach the shore. In some communities along African rivers,
Mm.
the fear of crocodile attacks is so pervasive that it shapes every aspect of daily life. People develop elaborate systems for accessing water safely, with some communities posting lookouts while others collect water, and children are taught from a very young age never to approach the water's edge alone. Women who wash clothes and collect water from rivers are among the most frequent victims, as are fishermen who wade
Dang.
into shallow water to set and check their nets.
That's tough.
In some regions, crocodile attacks are so common that they barely make the local news, and families that have lost members to these reptiles often view it as an unavoidable fact of life rather than a newsworthy event. One of the most recent attacks to make international
Wow.
headlines occurred in
Okay.
South Africa, when a man
Dang.
ignored warning
Okay.
signs and began fishing in a known crocodile area.
Idiot.
These kinds of incidents highlight a pattern that is consistent across the
Idiot.
continent. The people who are most at risk are those who have no choice but to enter crocodile-infested water to survive, and those who underestimate the danger despite clear warnings. Despite these attacks, Nile crocodiles are actually a vital part of African freshwater ecosystems, and efforts to manage human-crocodile conflict have become an important part of conservation work across the continent.
Okay.
But for the millions of Africans who depend on rivers and lakes for their survival, these animals remain a constant and inescapable threat. The Nile crocodile takes the second-place spot.
Second place. What is
And for our
first? The
final
tiger?
section, we'll be heading to the
Tiger.
Indian subcontinent and Southeast
Tiger.
Asia to face the deadliest big cat man-eater in
Tiger.
history.
Yep.
The tiger is the largest of all the
Yep.
big cats, with some males
Tiger.
reaching weights of over 300 kilograms, and it has been responsible for more human deaths than any other wild cat species in recorded history. It's estimated that tigers killed approximately 373,000 people in India alone between 1800 and 2009.
Oh, I know their breath smells like shit, man. Oh, I just know it, man.
A number that is almost impossible to comprehend. During the British colonial era in India, tiger attacks on humans were so common that the British administration employed professional hunters to track and kill
Okay.
man-eating indivials. And some of
There's
these
no
hunters became
professional
legendary figures
hunters
in their own right.
for tigers.
Jim
They're
Corbett,
the ones
who
being
we
hunted.
mentioned earlier in this video, was
Okay.
called upon repeatedly by desperate villagers to deal with man-eating tigers that were terrorizing their communities. And his accounts of
Dang.
tracking these animals through dense forest read like some of the most gripping adventure stories ever written. The most prolific individual man-eater in history was the Champawat tiger, a female
What?
Bengal tiger that killed an estimated 436 people across Nepal and the Kumaon region of northern India in the late 1800s and early
Wow.
1900s. When Corbett finally shot her in 1907, he discovered that both of her upper canine teeth had been broken, likely by a previous gunshot wound. This injury had made it
Dang.
impossible for her to hunt her normal prey of deer and wild
Wow.
boar, and she had turned to the only animal that was slow enough and accessible enough for her to catch:
Yep.
humans. The story of the Champawat tiger is both horrifying and tragic, because the tiger that killed
Dang.
436 people had been created by a human who had shot and wounded her years earlier.
Yep. Wow.
Today, tiger attacks on humans still occur, though the numbers are far lower than they were historically, mostly because there are far fewer tigers. There are only an estimated 4,500 wild tigers remaining across their range, which is a fraction of the population that once roamed across Asia.
Wow.
But in certain areas, attacks remain a serious and ongoing problem. The Sundarbans, a vast mangrove forest that straddles the border between India and Bangladesh, is the most dangerous place in the world for tiger attacks. Around a third of all tiger attacks on humans occur in this region, and the tigers here have developed a reputation for being particularly aggressive and bold. Local fishermen and honey collectors who enter the mangroves to earn a living are the most vulnerable, and despite various deterrent measures, Attacks continue to claim dozens of lives each year. One of the deterrents that has been tried is wearing face masks on the back of the head, based on the theory that tigers prefer to ambush from behind and won't attack if
What?
they think they're being watched. This worked for a short time, but the
Okay.
tigers eventually seemed to figure out the trick and began attacking regardless. Electrified human
Dang.
dummies have also been placed in the forest, which deliver a painful shock when a tiger bites or
Mm.
claws them, and these have shown some success in conditioning individual tigers to
Okay.
associate humans with an
Wow.
unpleasant experience.
Wow.
But in a vast mangrove forest that stretches for over 10,000 square kilometers, these measures can only do so much.
Yep.
The tigers of the
Wow.
Sundarbans are unusual because they appear to hunt humans not just as a last resort, but as part of their regular diet. The reasons for this are debated, but some researchers believe that the brackish water of the mangroves makes the tigers more aggressive, while others suggest that the sheer density of human activity in the area has simply taught the tigers that humans are a reliable food source.
Mm-hmm.
Across the rest of India, tiger attacks tend to follow a different pattern. Most man-eating incidents involve tigers that are old, injured, or have been displaced from their territory by younger rivals. These animals are unable to hunt their normal prey effectively, and they turn to humans out of desperation rather than preference. The Indian government and wildlife organizations have developed protocols for dealing with man-eating tigers, which usually involve attempting to capture the animal first and only resorting to shooting it if capture fails. But these decisions are always controversial, as each tiger represents a significant fraction of the wild population, and killing a man-eater can feel like choosing between human lives and the survival of a critically endangered species. In 2018, the hunting and killing of a man-eating tigress known as Avni in Maharashtra sparked a national debate in India about how man-eating tigers should be handled, with animal rights activists condemning the decision and local communities arguing that it was necessary to protect their lives. It's a moral dilemma that has no easy answer, and it's one that will become more common as human populations continue to expand into tiger habitat. The tiger's long and devastating history of hunting humans, combined with the ongoing attacks in the Sundarbans and across its range, means that it easily takes the first-place spot. No other big cat, and arguably no other land predator, has claimed as many human lives throughout history. And the fact that they continue to do so today, despite their dwindling numbers, is a testament to just how formidable these animals truly are. Of course, there are a few other predators that could have made this list, and I'm sure some of you will have different opinions on the rankings. If you have any thoughts or suggestions, then feel free to let me know down below.
Make sure y'all like and subscribe. Peace out, y'all. Bye.